Oh, look who's here, Victor. Isn't it crazy, man? Oh, I was just talking to my friend Love Triber about the craziness going on out there. Oh, man. I'm glad you noticed. It's... let me see if I can condense what I was saying with my friend, because, of course, in my brain, I use all this, the astrology stuff, and I can justify it to myself because it's me just doing what I do. I love doing this, and I can always find a way to connect all the dots and the swirling pretzel type of energy that's going on. And right now, of course, we're right in the thick of it here. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. It's going to get more crazy and then more crazy and then, oh, look at this one. It's going to be the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. And that's going to make all this stuff go berserk, which is already going berserk. All right, let me see what I can do here. Let's see. Okay, so obviously we have a transmission. I'm late. I wasn't going to do a show because I get a little bit queasy every time I do one of these shows, because you have to, well, it sounds weird. I just do it naturally anyway, but I feel it's a divinely ordained kind of process. And going into the etheric realms for, tarot readings, especially, not so much the astrology, but yeah, quite a bit of the astrology, but especially the tarot readings, require me to have to go through a personal absolution, like a detachment, where I just have to unplug myself from being a human and operate more as a transmitter, a blob of energy. I call it a transceiver. A transceiver is something that transmits and receives energy at the same time, like a cell phone in voice mode. In other words, I can speak and you can speak simultaneously. We can talk over each other if you want and have squabbly mess. And that's a transceiver, because we are transmitting and receiving energy simultaneously, both sides. Walkie-talkie is not the same. Walkie-talkie, you're either transmitting or you're receiving, but not both. So anyway, being a transceiver is effectively like being an instrument. It's an instrument for the healing power of love, which I consider an energy field in which we are saturated all the time, whether we like it or know it or not. Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. I'm glad you understand. Thank you, Dee. I was just trying to explain something to Victor before I get into what I was going to talk about. And it requires a kind of like unplugging the ego, because I have lots of things I love to do, I want to do, a person that I would like to be, like to become, like to move away from something that I'm ashamed of. I want to evolve and grow and adapt like everybody. Some people don't. No, do not. No. Do not send a super chat. If you want a reading, I can do a reading. I can maybe handle 2 or 3 readings per evening anymore. That's all I can handle. No super chat. No, I'll never see it. YouTube doesn't pay me anything anymore. They kind of cut me off, so I don't play with them. They don't play with me. I just do the shows. But if you really want the video, hold on, Victor, please be patient. If you really want a reading, you can go here. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Go to TarotLumination.com. That's my little mini website. It's very basic. It's all you need. And you can press the donate button. Click. And it's just like online shopping, okay? So that's how that works. Okay? And then it'll show up over here. And then I can get you your live mini reading. Okay? So that's how that works. Anyway, hold on. Oh, Necessary. Hello, Necessary. Good evening. Yeah. Bubba is snoozing away nicely. We had lovely several cuddles today. He's had a little bit of an outside romp, and he's had his physiotherapy. I do lumbar and body rubbing things to get rid of all the lactic acid and let it get metabolized, and then I do lymphatic massage, and he loves all of that stuff, and then roly-polies, and then after that he usually feels pretty goofy and wants to go take a snooze in the yard and sunbathe, things like that. Anyway, so you don't even, who was that? So D, you don't even need PayPal. You can just use a card. You go to the donate button at TarotLumination.com, scroll down, and you can just use a card. Easy peasy. Online shopping. So, anyway, Victor, I was talking to my friend, Love Triber, who I just saw her. Yeah, okay. And she was basically saying the same thing as you. God, isn't it really strange right now? And I was saying, yes, it is. And of course, I was just, well, look at the planets. What do you expect? So I broke it down a little bit. Okay. A couple months ago, Mars entered Capricorn. And that made things very grumpy and very, very serious for the elites and the leaders of the people who own the world, the people who run the world, some of the monsters, some of the big corporations, the Black Rocks, the financial industrial complex, the World Economic Forum, all the people who want to own and control the world, whether it's through Chinese communism, World Economic Forum, globalism, Islamification, who knows what, Chinese-style communism, whatever it is. They just want absolute power, money, and control. And then that built up to the crescendo of Mars in Capricorn, a couple of weeks ago, around 27, 28, 29 degrees, and it got very, very fierce. We started seeing lots of headlines about all the evil institutions and activities that were showing their true nature. You've got to reveal it to heal it. There's no more veil anymore. Neptune has now moved into Aries. There's nowhere to hide. And so the Satanists, the vampires, the parasites, the cancerous stage 4 metastatic organisms that are eating humanity alive, they're on full display. It's happening in Milan with the Winter Olympics. It's happening over here in America with the big sports games. It's full-on DEI, Satanism, blood worship, child sex trafficking, all the creepy conspiracy stuff that's been going on for years, which has now turned out to be true. So, anyway, so there we are. Then Mars heads towards Aquarius, okay? And I was predicting, oh my God, we're in for some very serious, bumpy ride here. Mars is going to conjoin Pluto. We're going to be looking at war. Absolute ruthless, savage, bloodthirsty, off the charts war. Violence everywhere. Violence is just going to explode all across the world like a massive rash of hives. And you won't be able to stop it. What's happening is that certain percentage of the globe population of humans is no longer able to cope with their reality for whatever it is. And they are so terrified of evolving and changing, behaving and becoming good people and integrating with society, Aquarian style, having community where we all support each other and look after each other in a massive circle of friendship. No, they don't want that. They want absolute power, money, and control. Power corrupts. It's inevitable. It's delicious. Most people, it's too tempting. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Just look what's happening to Xi Jinping in China. He's going absolutely berserk, classic paranoid, schizophrenic, narcissistic, psychopath, egomaniac, losing it, realizing it. His glory days could be coming to an end. So he's going to go supernova. Same thing with Vladimir Putin. Same thing with the Ayatollah Khomeini. Same thing with Keir Starmer over in England. Same thing with Mark Carney in Canada. They're going absolutely berserk. Same guy, Ramaphosa, South Africa. They're going berserk. We're not going to put up with this shit. We're just going to go and blast and obliterate and do evil, disgusting things. Kill everybody, kill everything. We're going to burn everything down. So, anyway, with the Aquarius vibe, the Mars has been building up there. We've already had the exact Mars-Pluto conjunction. What was it? 0, 1, or 2 degrees. Now Mars is grinding its way towards Pisces. We've reached the culmination, and now we're seeing the spillover. In other words, the dam was breached, and now the spillover of violence is spreading over like a massive avalanche everywhere. Escalating is the popular word. And to me, it all has the mark of insanity. I look at the insanity. I look at the 0 degree points of where Saturn is now 29.5 degrees, Pisces, desperate, screaming for accountability regarding the global evil. And now, it's starting to happen because Saturn's going to be in Aries any moment. And Neptune has just moved into Aries. There's nowhere to hide. Aries is very direct, right out there. And Neptune there is like falling into it, like the death and decay after 184 years, Neptune return. That's a full Neptune return, okay, 184 years, Aries to Pisces. Aries is birth, Pisces is death. Now we're getting a rebirth. And what we're seeing is what just died. What is dying? What has been decomposing right in front of us? Where is that filthy stench of evil coming from? It's right in your face. Hillary's going to be in Congress, in about 10 days. And Bill Clinton's going to be there too. And the other guy from Benghazi is going to probably testify against Hillary and say she ordered the whole thing. That was back 2012? I remember that vividly. That's when Hillary Clinton showed her true colors live on stage regarding the dead Americans when Obama issued a stand-down order to stop protecting and defending the American embassy. So the American military stood down from their commander-in-chief's order, and Hillary watched it all decompose and our people get slaughtered. And then when Hillary was held to account, she said, well, what does it matter anymore? They're dead. Okay. Psychopath. So there's all that going on. Uranus is just turning direct, heading towards the degrees of crisis for the global financial system. It's absolute chaos. It's fantastic. I love witnessing this. It's so predictable. And so, obviously, the market's gyrating. There's the Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ going absolutely berserk. Bigger, bigger, bigger than ever. And then crashes. Gold, silver, kaboom, Bitcoin wiped out, destroyed, obliterated. Crypto's dead. Absolute insanity. It's revealing the lack of evolution of human behavior. I've got some other theories on that, but I can't really talk about them here. So, anyway, it's fantastic to watch, observe, especially if you are able to stand back, enjoy it like a movie, on the understanding that some of it's very tragic, some of it's very beautiful, but it's nature. It's just our species evolving. With that massive stellium, okay, remember, we had a Capricorn new moon Within hours, it moved into an Aquarius vibe, sun and moon. So I felt it was more like an Aquarius new moon. And yet here we are coming into another Aquarius new moon right now. But that's a real one, and it's going to be an eclipse. So, yeah. So, we've got like multiple crises happening simultaneously. Now, there are certain people and institutions that are going to ride the wave of evolution. They are actively seeking to evolve, adapt, and grow and prosper and rejoice in a rebirth of humanity in the form of freedom. The problem with this one side of the story is that there's still a tremendous amount of power, money, and control in the hands of evil people and evil institutions. They're not going away. They are going to fight till their death. That's what they're doing. So that's why we're seeing them show their true nature. The Democrat Party is being exposed for what it really is. The Chinese Party, all the tyrannical, violent, hostile entities are showing their true nature because there's nowhere else to hide. With Neptune and Pisces, you could hide behind a veil of deception. You can't do that with Neptune and Aries. It's just the opposite. The deception is right out there. Every entity that earns its living, makes its life, absorbs its energy through lies, deception, betrayal, theft, crime, fraud. It's all out there now. All the Bill Gateses, the Hillarys, the Bills, all the evil people, the WEFers, the UNs, the WHO. We all know now it's all pretty pictures, pretty stories to cover up pure evil. And the pure evil crowd are doing everything they can. They're scrambling to... They're not even trying to cover up their evil anymore. They're just trying to recapture and save the power and money and control that they are losing. They've blown their cover. It's fantastic to watch. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, all of it. It's fabulous. It's just fabulous. What's today? What did I say? It's the 8th. Yeah, Sunday night. So anyway, let me just check. Sorry, my voice, I don't know if I'll be able to handle any readings as it is. Let me just check a couple things in the background here. I'm going to go over to the stage for a minute. If you want to, guys just want to look at that. All of this is derived from the ephemeris over here. So this ephemeris applies whether you're an Egyptian, an Iranian, a Chinese communist, Vladimir Putin, a saint, a cat or a dog, a giraffe, a dolphin, a leaf, a plant. It's the same ephemeris. All this is doing is describing the position of the astrological bodies in our solar system so that we can understand the gravitational push and pull that they have on us here on Earth. That's all. Anyway, let me do some background work here. I got to check a couple of things to run the show. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Hey, wait a minute. It looks like I got a book. Hold on. I got to do some more homework here. I got to grab a Post-it note. Bear with me. I'm working behind the scenes. Oh. Okay. Let's see. I got a booking for a reading, folks. Look at that. Booking from Desiree. Questions. regarding Jason's feelings. And how about reaching out? Okay. All right. There you go, Desiree. That's your magic post-it note for now. We'll get a look at that in a second. Give me a chance. I have to do some catching up here. I should have prepared a little bit better. And we'll see. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right, that's about all I can handle. Let's have a look. Blind plus bottom card. You got it. I know you mentioned about that. Okay, so I got a couple of bookings here. Let me just... Oh, man, it's so freaking hot. It was like 80 degrees here today. Can you believe that? It's the middle of February in America, and it's freaking 80 freaking degrees. All right, let's have a look. Oh wait, there's Queen of Water. You're down there in Australia, Melbourne, if I'm right. Thank you, Dee. Yeah. Anyway, let me just finish some thoughts here, comments, because it's very, very important. Sorry, for Victor. This is a very long-term issue right here. The global financial system and the global financial crisis. In a matter of hours, just for reference, okay, Victor? This, actually, let's put these up here because we're going to do some readings in a little bit, okay? I'm just trying to get warmed up and in the zone, so to speak. So, Victor, you're already aware of the convulsive gyrations happening in the global financial system. The global financial system is just one component of the chaos and the massive surge of compression for humanity to evolve, okay? This is an extremely rare alignment. And in a few weeks, it's going to become more extreme, okay? Right now, tonight, we're literally hours away from the opposition, where the moon's going to be up here. Okay, Victor? So just, I don't know if you're live in the markets or anything like that. I'm not, but I watch. When the moon is right up here, probably be tomorrow sometime, maybe Monday morning. You know what to say about Monday morning on the stock market. Do not be surprised if you see some really shocking headlines in the global financial system. Maybe the stock markets, maybe some big corporations, maybe gold, maybe the indices or something, okay? Up, down, chaos, oh, it's better than ever, whatever it might be. Everything is in your opposite sign of Aquarius. Oh, okay, so you're just giving away a little bit of information. So, yes, definitely, Victor. If you wanted to, you could consider yourself, if you have prominent Leo energy, like Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Barack Obama, to mention others. There's a whole bunch of them. Leo is very prominent and very important part of American history and astrology and presidency and leadership. Anyway, Leos, you could, if you wanted to, you could say, I'm under attack. Leo, I am under attack by all of this. And just a bit of a heads up, Victor. In a matter of 2.5, 4.5, in a matter of 5 days, basically 7, 8, 9, in a matter of 9 days, 9.5, whatever. Okay, from here to here, we're going to have the eclipse on the 17th of February. The sun is going to be around here, and the moon is going to be around here. So you're going to have sun, Mars, moon. I don't know. I think Venus will be gone. Sun, Mars, moon, Pluto. You're still going to have a lot of Aquarian energy over here around the 17th, okay? Just giving you a heads up, Victor. You might want to prepare yourself in advance, okay? Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Panic selling. I am absolutely joy. If I had money, Victor, I would be scooping up Bitcoin. That's what I would be doing right now. I know it sounds wacky. Some people are doing well in the defense stocks. Lockheed Martin, for example, not surprising with all the F-22s, the F-35s, the F-16s in the development. Fantastic. So anyway, yeah, the Leo crowd is under extreme pressure right now. But the beauty of this is it can also bring out the best. This is the axis of relationship. It's also the axis of war. It's also the axis of the most powerful bonding relationships. Exactly, for example, the Aries-Libra bond. Okay, this is the house of self. This is the house of other. And it's great when it works. In other words, the house of partnership and business relationships, marriage. This is the house of marriage, based on the opposition from Aries. Marriage, it can be one of the best decisions you ever make in your life, if it's a good marriage. It can be one of the worst decisions you ever make in your whole life, if it turns out to be a bad marriage. So that's why they also call this house the house of open enemies, because in a marriage, there's really nowhere to hide. Even if you're trying to hide stuff, the other party knows that somebody's hiding something. Yeah. All right, anyway. So, yeah, I'm glad you noticed. But here's the thing about the Aquarian vibe. Let me just round it out here so I don't scare everybody. Okay. What do you think of with Aquarius? You think of genius. You think of fun. You think of spontaneity. You think of newness. You think of novelty. You think of community. You think of friendships. Friendships and community. For a lot of people, friendship and community is more valuable, more important than family and partnerships. Friendship is extremely valuable. Aquarius is the sign of friendship. And when you put friendship in the Aquarian vibe, it's a circular energy. We all look after each other in a community like we're friends. It goes without saying that no one is out deliberately trying to create a hierarchy or a power structure. Everyone's equal. Whether you're big and strong, whether you're poor and weak, whether you're gorgeous and handsome and beautiful, or you're strange, or you're diseased, or you're sick, or you're tragic, you're sad, whether you're a good hunter, a good gatherer, a scientist, a revolutionary with some amazing ideas, the Aquarian energy at its bedrock demands freedom. The freedom to be. The freedom to have and enjoy community without extremes of hierarchy, power and money and control. That's the biggest rift that we have right now, because now that the evil is fully revealed, that, like, for example, the FIC, the Financial Industrial Complex, pretty much everybody on Earth now has figured out that it's a massive scam. It's basically a supremely successful, highly organized, very efficient, brutally, ruthlessly effective loan shark operation. That's it. And you're the victim. It's designed to harvest energy from you by any means necessary, using the sparkling, glorious images of big, fat, important buildings, fancy charts and numbers, and lots of propaganda, lies, deception, betrayal, usury. Usury is criminal. 30% interest on a credit card? I mean, I can understand it. Anyone who's going to issue credit to somebody that they don't really know deserves to charge appropriate interest rates to account for the risk. But also, anyone who wants to borrow that much money at that interest rate, you really got to question it, because anyway, I'm going to get myself into a black hole there. I'll stop talking about that stuff now. Let's Victor, I wish you all the luck. Strap in, stay strapped in, buckle up, because this, with the Leo vibes, you can look at everything that's happening in the Aquarius world, okay? You can also observe from the 90-degree angle what's happening in the Taurus world, which is square to you, absolute squared, and that represents the global financial system. And then in a day or so, tomorrow, when the moon is in the high degrees, crisis degrees of Scorpio, you can look at the other 90-degree over there, and you will have a vast, full spectrum observation, view of the insanity of our species. You'll have the Aquarius view, head on. You'll have the Taurus view over there, 90 degrees. You'll have the Scorpio there at 90 degrees. And you can just sit back and go, wow, it's the best movie I've ever seen. And just hold your ground, like you said. Sounds like you already understand what's going on. And so in some ways, the worse it gets, the better for you. The worse it gets for the mainstream, potentially the better for you. So yeah, I got to check in on the chat, and then we got to get to the readings, okay? Hello, let me just check in. I'm going to go over here for a second. Jody, hello, Jody. Forecasting 38 for Monday. Yep. Queen of Waters over there in Melbourne, Australia. Wait a minute, there's lots of notes here. Okay. Right, flower. Okay, it's 10 degrees. Okay, wow, it's chilly back there. Okay. 27 in Wisconsin. Oh, it's a heat wave. People are selling right now, panic selling, silly, silly, silly. I agree. And then, yeah, Victor's holding long term. Excellent. Hello, Ivona. Good evening. Thanks for hanging out. When possible. Oh, I see. Okay. Hang in, Victor. Hang in. This is going to be one of the most spectacular episodes in human history for hundreds of years to come. What's happening right now on the global arena, and you're going to be witnessing from where you are. Okay, Victor, you're there. You're going to get the 180 degree right there. Watching on the wide screen, you're going to see the Scorpio stuff over there tomorrow and the Taurus stuff over there now. So brace yourself for Monday morning. It's probably going to be, one of those moments you just want to switch on the screen really early, check in with your financial channels, and watch everything go absolutely berserk. Yay! All right, I'm going to put all this stuff away, and then we got to do some readings. Okay, I got 2 readings. That's all I can handle. So please bear with me while I get set up here. I'm going to get set up now. And then go tarot readings. Oh boy, sorry, I got allergies, man. It's so bad here. I took some allergy meds, but it's not enough. If you take too much, it makes everything worse. All right, people, just hang in for a couple of seconds while I clear the deck. Every time I do this, I'm baffled. Like, this deck is like brand new. I've done thousands of readings, but it's still like brand new. Just to explain to folks and newbies and so on, I only have 3 spreads. I've done thousands of readings. I had to make my own spreads because I didn't really have much fun with the traditional ones when they teach you. So I've got my situational spread, which I use for almost everything. If I'm doing private readings about love and relationships, I have my crucible spread. And then for life journey and spirit health and everything like that, everything else, I have my heart spread. But those are big, expensive readings, so I don't do a lot of those. But if you want, you can reach out. Anyway, for tonight, first up, we have Desiree, and she's got some thoughts regarding Jason. So you have to kind of, sometimes you have to kind of rephrase the questions, okay? So the way I'd like to do it is, what kind of messages do we have here tonight for Desiree regarding the idea of whether Jason will reach out? Secondly, or firstly, Jason's actual feelings. Of course, one affects the other. Just because he might be feeling good doesn't mean he's going to reach out. And so on. So there's no point in attaching any kind of expectations. And also, you have to be very careful when you're phrasing questions with a yes or no answer, because I'm not really a fortune teller. All I do is read energy and transmit. I absorb energy and I transmit energy. I receive the energy, I transmit the energy. Well, the way I receive it is more or less like Necessary would know. It's more or less like psychic mediumship, but I just translate it through, my props. These are my kind of like my props. Anyway, I use my situational spread, which I consider a diagnostic tool. It like opens the door to a situation so you can see what's going on, because you've got to reveal things to heal things. Most things that need to be healed can also be phrased as questions that need answers, okay? I think we're pretty good. So again, this is my situational spread. It's a diagnostic tool. It's very similar to the little black box they use at your auto tech place when you go for a free checkup. If your check engine light is flashing on your car, for example, and you're distressed, what's going on? You drive over there, you tell them, oh, my car is blinking orange all the time, please help. They'll run out with the little black box, plug it in, and then go back in and read it all on the computer, and they'll tell you the problem with your car. Kaboom. Now you've revealed it, so now you can heal it. That's all we're doing here. Cards are nicely shuffled. This is just going to be a straight traditional reading here, okay? All right. So what kind of messages do we have for Desiree tonight regarding Jason's feelings? And secondly, the possibilities of reaching out. Here's the situation overall. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things moving forward. And underneath at the top, underneath over here, we're going to look at external influences, of course, where I almost always defer to the astrology because we're all influenced. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords. Please do not freak out. Okay, Desiree? Do not freak out. If you have certain expectations of lovey-dovey romance and maybe an optimistic hope for about Jason and maybe him reaching out, understand that with this card, it looks to me like there's a third-party influence somewhere. To me, this would indicate that the problem, if there is a problem, which would prompt you to have a tarot reading and actually spend good money to get a little tarot reading because you have questions, then this would make sense because questions indicate doubt or an indication that there are things going on that you don't know and you don't understand and you would like to have answers. And so that's why we're here. So what this is indicating to me is that in a relationship dynamic, there might be a third party involved here that is completely secret, completely unknown, which is very subtly or maybe even very openly sabotaging whatever relationship dynamics you have, if you have hopes for something romantic and loving. So yeah, don't freak out. So also remember, this is not a Cups card, this is Swords. So a lot of this is mental stuff, things about language, things about understandings of each other's truth and reality and how that is expressed, how it's transmitted, and how it's received. Okay? So there might be some very serious miscommunications going on, serious misunderstandings in terms of language, expectations based on language, body language, physical language, history of relationship, and so on. Okay. All right, let's have a look. What's the situation itself? Okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune, it's like, I don't want to say it's like you're tempting fate. My feeling is that you have been swept up by what some people would call fate. Okay? So when I look at the astrology, it's very extreme right now. This little blob here, these two here, this one here, are creating extreme pressure on the whole of our species to evolve or perish. To evolve is usually a very painful struggle, whether you're a person, a country, a corporation, a bank, a relationship. Evolving requires deliberately moving into the unknown, deliberately moving into activities, thoughts, concepts, behaviors, realities that you may not want to know. Some people refuse to evolve, and they create havoc in their own lives and the worlds of others. With this Wheel of Fortune, it makes me feel total innocence. It makes me feel like you, Desiree, are basically kind of pure and innocent, and you have, for better or worse, stepped into an environment, a relationship, a situation where you're being swirled around in ways that you've never really encountered before, and it's very disorienting for you. And it makes you feel like, have you ever been to some of those big commercial level, industrial style fairgrounds, amusement parks with huge rides, huge roller coasters, scary whirligigs, everything? Makes me feel like you're in a situation where you thought, oh, this is going to be fun. Maybe Jason's great. Maybe he's the one, or maybe we're friends. I don't know. Maybe this has been going on a long time and something just happened. I don't know why, but it makes me feel like you stepped into the merry-go-round and you thought, oh, this is going to be so much fun. And then you're starting to feel vertigo and dizzy, like you want to vomit. Blah! And that's why you're reaching out and having a tarot reading. Like something's not quite right here. What's the challenges itself, okay? Let's have a look. Oh, it looks to me, with the Ten of Pentacles, that you might have been hoping for something really, really wholesome, good. Like maybe a potential chance for having the things that almost everybody wants on this planet during this physical incarnation in our three-dimensional world. Having a mate, having somebody who's on your side, having someone that you love and trust, someone that loves and trusts you. And everything that goes with it. Abundance, friends, family, your own castle, your own home from which you can create new life. Perhaps you might have even had aspirations for marriage or something like that. A really good, solid marriage. I mean, it's a beautiful card in its own right, but in this position, to me it indicates that you might be left wanting. In other words, if you had very high hopes for Jason and yourself, and maybe you had very good reasons to have very high hopes, and then discovering that something's not quite right. There you go. So let's have a look. How do we proceed here? Okay. Okay, you, Desiree, this is very much all about you right now. Remember, this is your tarot reading. It's about you, your life, your world, your experience from your perspective. And we're getting a broad spectrum view from outside of you through the grace of God and what we do here on this little tarot reading channel. If you think of the healing power of love as a universal energy field, it's beautiful, it's benevolent, it's just pure love. Remember, in this life experience here, love is the default setting. Evil only exists when we either allow it or we invite it. Okay? So, if you've accidentally stepped into something which maybe it makes you feel a little bit out of your depth and it's making your head spin in ways that you're not used to, what the Lover's card is challenging you to do is please learn and grow and understand from this situation in such a way that it's very, very, very important, the people that we choose in this life. Because, especially if it's for something like a marriage, like I said earlier when I was talking with Victor, a marriage, if it works, it can be the biggest blessing in your whole life. Having someone there at your side, not just there for sex and babies and partying and having someone, to dump all your shit all over, and vice versa, where you actually have a true friend who's there for you when all the shittiest things happen. That's great. But it can also go just the other way. That's the thing about the seventh house, the Libra marriage, the house of marriage and the house of open enemies. So what I'm seeing here, this is sort of almost like an indication with Libra. I'm not saying this is a Libra card, but it's incredibly important to understand the implications of a decision. Like if let's say you did enter into something like this and you were not aware that there was something treacherous going on in the background, and you feel that you had a chance for this and you got it, you stepped on the merry-go-round and it's like whoa, 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 and then you sign the contracts and then you discover this, then you'll realize, my God, what was I thinking? What an idiot. How did I get into this mess? Then you discover the ugly side of this card. So it's important, I think, with this little mini reading here, please treat it as a very, very valuable life lesson. If this mini reading has any kind of resonance with you, just take it as like a learning experience. Like, you know, it could be one of those oh my God moments, like, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. And then treat it as a lesson in understanding the full implications of love and marriage and relationships, which is all based on a decision to be or not to be this person or the other person or that person or that. Because in marriage and one-on-one relationships, it's highly specific. You get all of them and they get all of you in a binary situation. All the worst of you, all the best of you. All the worst of them and all the best of them. So it's better that you find out now. That's how I look at it. Okay, so we can analyze this forever, but I got to move on. Desiree, thank you so much. I'm glad you got something out of this. I am going to prepare now for the next reading with Necessary. Give me a second here, folks. Chat is going berserk. I'm not used to this. Hold on. Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius moon. So, what are his overall feelings? Another Sag, how cool. Continue the readings about you. Okay. It's about you. Wait a minute. Hold on, there's a lot of chat. I can't read all this when I'm doing the readings. Oh, I see what you're saying. His Gemini sun falls in your 7th house. No wonder the concept of marriage and home and having a full-on one-to-one 180-degree relationship is there for you. My feeling is that if it's okay, let me just go there because I can see why you're stressing about it. Give me a second. Somebody put up a note there. Remember, this reading is about you. At this point, it doesn't really matter what Jason feels about you. His Gemini sun, like you said, has landed in your 7th house of marriage and fundamental primary one-on-one partnership. If it was the 5th house, it would be more like fun, sex, party, have romance, and date. If it was the 9th house, it would be more like what happens after you get married, things like joint financial accounts, making babies, and things like that. But in the 7th house, it's no wonder you're feeling jolted by this. If he's a Gemini sun and you're Sagittarius rising, you're going to have 180-degree polarity. And in your 7th house, that means you're extremely vulnerable to how other people feel about you. What's important is how do you feel about you and what works for you. I don't know. There's so many ways you could say it. Like, I think it's impossible not to feel triggered. When you go to the 3 of Swords there, somebody mentioned about emotional pain. Well, I don't look at it that way myself. I mean, it's obviously a painful looking. Just look at the card. It makes you go, oh, I'm being stabbed, ruined, betrayed. But it's really a Swords card. And it's about betrayal and treachery and third-party interference. It's not uncommon for people to have an extremely powerful connection. The 180-degree polar connection is probably the most powerful. And if you're a Sag rising and he's a Gemini sun and he's triggering your 7th house, it's automatically going to feel like a marriage dynamic. Not a romance, not a friendship 11th house thing, a marriage. Okay, a lot of expectations come with that. But it already looks like it's a non-starter before it even starts because of that 3 of Swords. What I'm reading into it, what I'm sensing is that whether you want to chase him or expect him to chase you, or if you want to try to seduce him, eventually there's going to be treachery and betrayal, third-party interference. Maybe there's another person that you don't even know about. Can't do that here. Anyway. In a way, it's so sad when certain people have very specific expectations out of the relationship, you know? Ich bin so. Is that you, Martina? Martina? It must be very early in the morning. All right, necessary truth. We're going for a blind reading. Yay! Yeah, what you're saying about the 3 of Hearts. Yes, it's painful. It may be emotionally painful, but that's because of the treachery. I would think of the 5 of Cups as a very emotional pain type of card, for example. Hello, Martina. Oh boy. Everybody, in case you don't remember, Martina's been with us a long time. Martina was actually, and is actually, the one and only TarotLumination leggings model. Does anybody remember that? Does anybody remember that from years ago? And I can still do it. I have my Zazzle shop. People can buy mugs, clocks, charts, leggings, shirts, bags with TarotLumination all over it. And Martina volunteered to be a leggings model. And she made a video and everything. It's on the YouTube channel somewhere. I don't know where. I'd have to hunt for it. But it's there. Thank you very much, Martina. It actually did help. So anyway, welcome. So we have people from Austria, Australia, wow, the East Coast, the Midwest. I see what you want to know if he's going to reach out. I personally, Dee, my comment would be like, who cares whether he reaches out or not? You might want him to, but if you're basing your happiness, your joy on whether this person reaches out to you or not, can you see how you're condemning yourself to misery? If he reaches out to you, great, and it turns into treachery, what good is that? If he doesn't reach out to you, and you feel like you deserve it, you deserve to be respected, but you don't get it, that's painful too. All right, necessary. We're going to have fun. Here we go. Necessary truths. And you're going to get the little bottom card just for fun. So what kind of, again, you already know the routine, by the way, so I'm not going to repeat it here tonight. Wow, the cards feel very magnetic, if that means anything to you, necessary. It's very zingy, very zany, very electric. All right. It's probably all the Aquarian vibe, like Tesla. Alright, here we go. Bubba is right on time. Come on, Bubba. You thirsty? Come on, let's get you a glass of water. Come over here, come on. Say hi to everybody. Oh, you're all warm and fuzzy. Hold on, let's introduce you. Okay. Little Bubba decided he wants to participate. There you go, Bubba. Bubba might actually sit through the reading, okay? Sometimes he just likes to sit through a reading. So we'll see how that goes. Some of you might have seen my paintings, my digital paintings on my X channel about King Bubba in Egypt when he was the king of Egypt about 3,000 years ago. Even kind of before the pharaohs and the pyramids, but yeah, he was there. Very, very, just like this, very, very handsome and very regal. And I also made a little movie about King Bubba wandering around, checking out the neighborhood in Egypt, meeting people, and everybody loves him. Hello, Bubba. All right, we'll do it as we can. I'm having a little sip of this. So you might see a tail wagging or something like that. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. Yes, of course. We will adjust accordingly. I consider it a blessing that he's here with us tonight. He's a very, very picky eater, and so I have to stay on top of it. All right, here we go, folks. All right. All right, necessary. God, the cards have gone totally electric. It's not static. I don't know what it is. It's kind of fun, weird. All right, let's do this properly. Thank you, Bubba. I think I already did this, but we're going to start again. All right. You doing okay, Bubba? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And thanks for your notes recently, okay, necessary? Crazy stuff going on, right? Real roller coaster. And let's have a look at the external influences. We've got the Page of Swords. Okay, to me this is really kind of excellent. It makes me feel as though you're taking everything in life right now as a tremendous opportunity to learn and grow using the capacity of your mind, just getting into gear, knowing that we're in a time of evolution. And no matter how much life experience you might have, everybody needs to know, by the way, that Necessary Truth is a very gifted psychic in her own right, a medium, psychic medium. And even with all of that, we never stop learning. And your learning and your yearning for learning and growing and evolving is being amplified right now to the point where... What do you want, Bulbul? Just let me know, okay? I'm right here. You got a snack there waiting. The Page of Swords, what it's telling me is that you're despite whatever challenges you might have, this is a really golden learning opportunity for you to really kind of reassess your life, look at the innocence and the joy and the positivity that you bring to this world, and how you're learning so much and how you've learned so much, and that, like, just like we said, or somewhere in the chat, somebody said, don't forget that all this stuff that's happening to you is actually happening for you. So you're learning and growing from all of this, learning and growing, especially in the form of refining, pasteurizing, purifying your native, natural intellectual skills, okay? A truth speaker, demanding truth, integrity, honesty in all situations. Correct, yes. I don't know what that song is. Anyway, let's have a look. Here's the situation. Stay there, Bubba. Okay, so in the three-dimensional world right now, things are very delicate, requiring extreme acute attention to all three-dimensional aspects of your life, whether it's finances, paperwork, legal things, your banking stuff, your career, your job, your natural material life skills. Think of these two pentacles as extremely valuable elements in your life, and how they are being balanced and rebalanced in a time of extreme turbulence. Have you ever been sailing? Bubba. I used to do a lot of sailing, okay, when I was a kid. I'm not a sports guy. I know there's the big sports game on tonight all over the world. The biggest televised event in world history. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But it means nothing to me. I liked sailing. And in sailing, you know, the boat is rocking up and down, left, right, tilting here, bow down, bows up, keeled over to the left, keeled over to the right, starboard, port, and so on. And on bigger, longer journeys, for example, not just little sports sailing, but when you're on a big sailboat and you might be sleeping, traveling, and cooking, and so on, certain things have a gimbal. Like maybe the table has a gimbal, but especially the stove in the cooking area would be built on a gimbal. And a gimbal is a frame that has hinges that go this way and hinges that go that way. Or how do I put it? In other words, so whatever the boat is doing, the stovetop stays level. So that's what I'm seeing here. Somehow or other, you're going to have to put on your gimbal hat. Dear necessary truth, right? The situation right now demands that you operate body, mind, heart, and soul as if you are a gimbal. Okay? That's it. It requires being extremely agile, very, very sensitive to the energies around you, up and whatever it is, a phone call here or there, a message, a reality check, a relationship dynamic, a workplace dynamic, job dynamics, money dynamics, whatever it might be. In other words, it also feels like, give me a second here. You know how a lot of times in day-to-day life, sometimes you get an intuitive impulse about, oh, I got to do this now, I got to do that now, and then you kind of ride on this intuitive wave. I had a lot of that today. I just thought, I'm not going to think. I'm going to allow intuition to pull me through, and lo and behold, I released my expectations, and instantaneously, I was guided and protected, and I was just going with the flow. It was fantastic. Serene, satisfying, definitely work, but it's like it never happened. It felt like joy. So to me, that's like I was a gimbal at that moment. I was in perfect harmony with the universe. Whatever is all the stuff that's happening, all the, the Aquarius stellium this, Jupiter that, Taurus that, the stock market and the wars, Bill Clinton, whatever that is, sure, all of that stuff can rock you. Oh, you might get a phone call, or a good phone call, or a bad phone call. Either way, you have to maintain your equilibrium. And some people have skills that allow that to happen a lot of the time. What I'm sensing for you in this reading is that however many skills you have in that capacity already, you are being challenged to take it to another level. In other words, sometimes there are going to be events, just like when you're sailing, where you cannot predict the next wave, the next shock, is the wave coming from here or there or there or there? What about a wave that comes from behind you? That can be terrifying. Okay? So sometimes it's like what I'm sensing for you, necessary truths, is that sure, you've probably already got highly refined skills for operating as a gimbal anyway. But it's time to be on extra hyper alert right now so that the gimbal doesn't get rocked or shaked to the point where it falls off its hinges. You cannot afford to have that happen. So it means you're going to have a very, kind of like what they do in the United States military. You have multiple facets of perception. You have broad spectrum radar. And then you also have, bring it in tighter, you have very, very close, tight, high precision tracking. And it all has to operate simultaneously in order to navigate through your life right now, through all the turbulence, okay? So, on that note, if you look in the background, there's the ocean waves of life. It can get like that. I've been in conditions like that, okay? Either way, you're going to maintain your stability, your equilibrium, because you have to. What are the challenges here? Let's have a look. So, number 9. We've got the 9 of Swords here. So this is a public reading, okay, necessary truth. And this is going to sound very weird, but what I'm sensing is that you have every right to, in private, in person, experience and allow deep fear, deep anxiety about your life at this moment from every possible angle, okay? What did I do wrong to get to where this is now? I know I'm learning a lot. I know I have to learn a lot. I know I'm under stress and I will handle it. I know I can, but that still doesn't stop this horrific feeling. Perhaps like everybody faces at some point in life. My life is just me. It's just me living my life. No one's going to come and rescue me. I have to do it all. But the thing is, when I see this card in this position with this reading for you, this is something you do not want to admit to yourself because it's so frightening, because it admits that there's a possibility you might come flying right off your hinges. But that's not how it's going to happen, because you're learning as you go. You're having to do rapid, spontaneous, evolutionary behavior, events, as you go through your life at this moment. So it's almost like, I wish I never actually had this reading live here tonight, because I have to admit in public, yeah, that I'm pooping my pants right now. Okay? But no one has to know about that. Okay? Except the people here tonight. Okay. So let's have a look. How do we proceed here? Okay, you're going to need to ask for divine guidance. Reach out. Maybe I'll play my little song, I am guided, I am protected, okay? We'll do that, okay? You know how to do that already. You're just going to tune into your psychic capabilities and go above and beyond the three-dimensional aspects, which you're going to still have to maintain to function in this three-dimensional world. But in order to navigate further, see all these swords here, here. There's a lot of psychic, mental, spiritual activity going on, and it's going to, in other words, your pituitary gland has to be primed, cleaned, activated, made pristine and ready for work. You have to ask the right questions at the right time when you're sending out signals and expecting guidance. Here's a couple of things that helped me. I will share this with you, okay? Let's say I'm in one of those situations, and I have no idea what's going on, and I'm terrified. What I do is I completely surrender. I just say, you know what? My dear invisible friends, dear God, dear Jesus, dear guardian angels, please bring to me that which is mine, and please take away from me that which is not mine. Thank you. Let it be so. And that's it. So if you're weighing yourself down with things that are not worth worrying about, if there are things that you need to be concerned about that you're shelving or you're not even aware of, that's what it feels like when you go absolute. Now, just for you, what's that going to look like? Okay, so. So for you, dear necessary truth, this is a blessing in disguise. All of this is a massive blessing in disguise, because ultimately what it's about is new starts and new beginnings, new avenues, new concepts, new perspectives towards prosperity and material security, stability, and happiness in your life, in your world, in ways that you'd never really fully anticipated before this moment. And what it does, it opens a tiny little portal into a new horizon, which is perfect for you as a Sag. Way out there. Oh, look. I have another new adventure in my life. Wow. It's a card of sacred opportunity, so it's there, but it's up to you to grab it. It will just vaporize if you don't grab it. Wow. Okay. That's kind of a powerful mini reading. A little bit scary there, but I think you'll be okay. Oh boy. All right. Well, that was fun. Hope I didn't scare anybody tonight with the readings. Sorry, Desiree. Necessary. I don't know. Hello, Robin. I'm actually just on my way to depart now. I think it was a late start and it's a late finish, and I go to bed early, so I'm just going to wrap it up here. It's very, very late for you guys back east. You're welcome, Necessary. You're more than welcome. Thank you again. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, Necessary. Oh, let me see if I can do this. Give me a second here. I don't know if I can do this. I don't think I've ever done it this way before.
I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. When the light of hope it fades, when all faith is blown away, when all sense of trust goes down, when a smile turns into frown, when it feels there's no relief, nothing in which to believe, desperate in woe and grief, angels come reminding me, I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected. Angels gather close to me, show me what I cannot see. Angels take me by the hand, lift me when I cannot stand. Angels lead me through the dark, soothe and tend a broken heart, laughing at the circumstance, crying while we sing and dance. I am guided, I am protected, 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 I am guided, I am protected.
So there you go. There's your little song to wrap it up for the evening. Take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for your kindness.